So yesterday I was surrounded by several Chinese men.
Hello amazing viewer, this is Comfort for Life. I bring to you a compilation of TikTok videos together with famous channel or show videos for educational purposes. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and to my returning viewers, I love and appreciate you for your immense love, continued support. I love you and I don't take it for granted. Let's dive into today's video.
After having dim sum with my wife, I went to go pay, and they wouldn't let me pay. So I really like this aspect of Chinese culture where they literally fight over paying for a meal. So I actually was trying to sneak out of the meal just to go pay because I knew about this. My wife had informed me. I pretended like I was grabbing something, but then I grabbed the check and then took off. And then they just surrounded me, and they eventually won over and paid for my meal. So it's pretty fun.
China is now the most dangerous country in the world.
China is worse than America. Really, China hides its homeless people. China is spying on the US government using cyber espionage. There are no human rights in China. Look at Xinjiang. There is no freedom in China. The government is watching you all the time. The government is controlling your every move. The government is hiding the bad things from social media. America is the leader of the world, and everyone should follow what they are doing. The YouTubers in China just show the bad sides of America versus the great sides of China. But wait, the biggest one of them all. The YouTubers in China are paid by the Chinese government. Boom!
One thing that's been really refreshing since moving over to Shaohangshu is the fact that we don't have advertisements and ads popping up every few videos. Like, it's just so refreshing just being able to scroll and see content and not trying to be sold anything.
I feel like I have been brainwashed. So as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I am married to my husband who is from China. He's Chinese, from Beijing. So in the last few years that we've been together, I have learned so much about China that I had absolutely no idea about. And then it was reinforced to me when we went to China for a month this February to March. How much I did not know and what I thought I knew about China is totally a lie. I don't know if that's just because I grew up in a small city in Saskatchewan, Canada, that we believe these things, or if this is just like a Canadian or Western thing that we've been told about China. But this is kind of actually so super embarrassing. But I grew up thinking that China was like a third world country. Like, the pictures and what I had visioned in my mind was there was so many people, it was dirty, there was smog everywhere, they ate disgusting food, like cats and dogs, they ate pets. What I thought was Chinese food was like our Western Chinese food, like sweet and sour chicken balls and fortune cookies, which is not a thing there apparently. That blew my mind. Yeah. That they weren't very friendly, that they're very pushy because there's so many people that they want to get in and out of lines fast. And all of that is so wrong. Like, that they're oppressed people because it's a communist country and they have like no rights. I feel so ridiculous admitting this because after being there, saying this now is just like, wow. But I feel like I owe it to my husband, the people of China, the people of Canada that have grown up thinking the way that I did, my in-laws that were so gracious to take care of us and house us for that month. I feel like I owe it to them to give my truthful opinion now that I have been in the country and experienced it firsthand myself. Their food is incredible, and I thought I was a picky eater, and I ate pretty much everything there. Small quantities because I'm not a big eater, but the food is so good. Every restaurant has like a 20-page menu. There are so many options, and now that I'm back in Canada, going out for supper just doesn't excite me anymore. It's expensive. The fruit, sometimes it's hit and miss if it's good enough, or good if it's good at all. I really miss the food there. The people were so nice and friendly. Even though they can't talk to me, they tried. They would wave and say like 1 or 2 words that they could in English. They tried to ask me questions because they were curious about like where I'm from. It's such a progressive country. I mean, I was in Shanghai, Beijing, and then I also went to Tianjin for a day. Super clean. Every building looks different. The architecture, they have like the more modern new buildings, and then they have their old traditional like temples and stuff, which are so beautiful. And their cars, like they have a lot more electric cars and different brands that we don't have here. Their phones, like we have the monopoly of iPhone there. They have Huawei and other things. Like, I just feel like I have been lied to and missed out on so much of life. For the most part, the people don't seem like they feel oppressed. They actually enjoy that there's cameras everywhere because they feel more safe, is what I've picked up. And you do feel very safe in the country. Like I could go and walk around. I mean, I have no idea where I'm going and I can't talk to anybody, but I would feel safe wandering around aimlessly at night. Don't see like the gun problem. You don't see homeless people around. There isn't much for like garbage on the streets. Drugs are not a big issue there. You don't see people like passed out on the sidewalk, worried about if they've overdosed or not, or stepping on dirty needles. Like that's not a thing there. The subway station. I loved using the subway station. I could get anywhere I wanted for really cheap. It ended up being like $1 to get across, or $2 to get across Beijing on the subway. And it's safe and it's clean. Whereas in other places I've used the subway, like you see videos in the States, and I've used the subway in Europe, mostly in like London area, and wouldn't do it on my own. But China, I could do that no problem. And I have never seen anyone eating cats, dogs, bats. Like, that's crazy. The food markets, yes, they're busy, but they're not dirty. They're a very clean country. So I can only imagine, like, all of the other things I think about other countries and how those are wrong too. I've gone to Europe a few times. I obviously need to get out and explore the world more, because the fact that I thought this was the normal and I know everything about every country is ridiculous.
Hey guys, it's Bureaus in China, and I refuse to move back to the States.
Zero desire to live in Europe? No way. My name is Philippe. I come from Switzerland, and I live in Shanghai for the past 11 years. People here still enjoy working. They are dedicated. They are open. They are friendly. Europe is unfortunately changing a lot. People are getting so introvert. It's all a question about surviving, because Europe is actually, at the moment, is bleeding, you know. Countries like France, the French people are not proud to be French anymore. So they lost confidence in the government, while China still very strong. And I think it's definitely the best place to live in terms of quality of life, safety, security, organization of things. So I have a great future for China, and I think for the next decades, China will be leading the world. Zero desire to live in Europe. I have homes in Europe, but to go on holidays, but not as investments, but not to live in Europe. No way.
Hi everyone, so let's talk about crime and public safety, because nothing says comedy like street crime, right? Now, I've been living in Shanghai for more than 18 years, and let me tell you, it's one of the safest cities I've ever visited. Do you know why? It's because the city has surveillance cameras everywhere. I mean, you can't even scratch your nose without Big Brother asking if you need a tissue. Shanghai's got something like 2.8 million surveillance cameras. You never got too many cameras when even the cameras start wondering if they're being watched by other cameras. And it's not just cameras, there are police officers in every street corner. It's like they're playing a never-ending game of Where's Waldo, but with criminals. But hey, it's working. Shanghai's crime rate is incredibly low. You can leave your phone on a park bench, go for a jog, come back, and the phone will be there, with an extra power bank and a thank you note from the police for keeping the area safe. It's not just Shanghai, this is happening all over China. The whole country is like one giant security blanket. China has over 200 million surveillance cameras. If aliens were to visit Earth, they'd think that China's population was half humans, half CCTV cameras. This means you can walk around without worrying about getting mugged or having your car stolen. In fact, the only thing getting stolen in China is your privacy. I'm puzzled why so many Westerners are against surveillance, as it has such a big effect on preventing crime. It's as if they want crime. If you ask me, logically speaking, the only reason why you'd be against crime prevention would be if you're a criminal yourself. Now, let's contrast this with Sweden, my home country. Beautiful Sweden, known for its ABBA, IKEA, and street crime. Wait, what? Yeah, Sweden has seen a real surge in crime lately. There's been a rise in gang-related violence, and get this, hand grenade attacks. Hand grenade attacks, can you imagine? It's like they turn into an action movie over there. In 2019 alone, there were 257 bombings in Sweden. It's almost one explosion every single day. This isn't just happening in sketchy neighborhoods. These attacks are happening in residential areas as well. Just last year, a bomb went off in an apartment building in Malmö, killing one of the residents. Imagine trying to explain that to your landlord. Yeah, about the noise complaint. Turns out it was a bomb. Can I still get my security deposit back? Let's look at some stats. In 2020, Shanghai's murder rate was about 1 per 100,000 people. Sweden is more than double, increasing 10% year on year in homicides. And the hand grenades. Sweden reported 116 explosive incidents in 2018 alone. It's the latest stat I have. It's like someone tried to recreate a war zone for a history project, forgot to clean up. And guess what? Bringing hand grenades into the country is not even illegal. So what have we learned? Well, Shanghai is like living in a futuristic sci-fi movie, where everything is monitored. But on the other hand, you can walk around at 3 a.m. without a worry in the world. Meanwhile, Sweden has turned into an unpredictable thriller, with more plot twists than the season of Breaking Bad. Maybe Sweden needs to borrow a page from China's playbook and up their surveillance game. Or maybe they could just use some of those IKEA security systems. Flat packed, affordable, comes with its own Allen wrench. So next time you're deciding between a trip to China or Sweden, just remember, Shanghai, only thing you have to fear is running out of camera space on your camera roll.
There are many TikTok users visiting China recently.
Hey everyone, my name is Matt. I just came back from China recently, so I want to talk about what I learned from my experience. I felt so much more comfortable with the safety of my wife and son while traveling around in China. I didn't have to worry about any crimes or violence happening to us, and I felt comfortable whenever my wife and son were out and about on their own. I can't say the same for them being out on their own in America. In China, there are so many people going out at night for walks, to get street food, go shopping, interact with each other. Bigger cities are immaculate. Their architecture is amazing. The malls are incredible. They're always trying to find more efficient and optimized ways to do things, like the high-speed train and Alipay are amazing. I was only there for 3 weeks, but I will be going back soon and a lot more in the future. We could learn a lot from other places if we just came together instead of being at each other's throats all the time. I just wanted to put some misconceptions to rest from the perspective of someone who's actually been there and experienced it, instead of going off of the propaganda being spewed all over the media. For a communist country, it feels like they have a lot more freedom than we do in the land of the free.
I want to ask one question that I ask every guest that comes on the show. It's a great question because our goal with this channel is to help people understand China more and see it from a different lens. So what is one thing that you want the world to know about China?
I think for most people today, people are not aware that it's the most modern place on earth. I mean, if you go to the great cities, particularly in southern China, like Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Hangzhou, they are the most modern cities in the world. There's nothing like that. I mean,
am I the only one liking Rednote more than I like TikTok? Don't shoot the messenger, okay? Because the only thing that would make this app a little bit better if all my friends are over here, my friends aren't over here yet, it's just me. And I'm like, who do I share this with? Who can I send this to? You know what I mean? But anywho, yeah, I'm actually also learning kind of how shitty our country is. I saw a video where someone said that Americans think they're free because we can have opinions, but we're not free because we don't have choices. Clocked it. Someone else told them to like make a joke about like Americans, and they were like, okay, don't shoot. They're clocking our tea over here really quickly, and I'm having so much fun. Like the commentary, like on the videos, hilariously horrendous, but
Alright, TikTok refugees, let me tell you why living in China is great.
Glad you've watched to this extent, amazing viewer. Thanks for your continued support to Comfort for Life. Your support for this channel is highly appreciated. Kindly like the video for recommendation, share your thought in the comment section, but also, what do you think about this video? What do you think about this video? Kindly subscribe if you're new here. You're going to enjoy it here. Just look at those prices of food in China. So there have been people speaking about positivity in China. These are people who have traveled, some traveled for years in China, and they've been speaking on social media. But unfortunately, the negativity about China was overshadowing, the positive things that people are speaking about this country. Unfortunately, so many people, including us, so many people believe that China was that remote place, and everyone's dream was to go to the United States. But you've heard it from a European, you've heard it from a European. I can't trade living in China with something else. America, US, Europe, Switzerland, where he's coming from, we are no longer having that enthusiasm about life. We are surviving. So people no longer have the drive to live. So, but that vibe, that drive, that livelihood is in China. So, yeah, you're welcome to travel to China. Travel guides, I think I have to find travel guides that I'll be including in every video, because who doesn't want to go and see this propaganda? Who doesn't want to go and see and live this experience, so-called propaganda? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you for your support. Goodbye.